live here.
All right,
Okay,
excellent.
I think we are live. Man, what's the temperature over there right now, Jay?
It is below freezing. That's all I know. I've been out here shoveling and doing some stuff around the house because we had about 6 inches fell last night,
Wow, that is
and
incredible.
so it's it's a little bit cold, but it's
That
all
is
right. It's all
that
good.
is incredible. So, thank you so much for joining me today, Jay.
Thanks for having me.
So, before we start, just make sure I have the sound on my YouTube. Thank you so much for. Good. Okay, I have the sound. I got my monitor set up so I can see people's comments. Okay. And if you're,
Excellent, excellent.
by the way, people are joining us first time. We are chit chatting with the Jay Ono from Ono Coffee, and Jay has an incredible background. Okay, comes to the Barista Championship. You know what? Why don't you tell me your background for briefly?
Okay, so I've been in the coffee business for over 20 years now, mostly with my own operations here in Baltimore. What's going on, Leopoldo? And so I'm based here in Baltimore. I have a coffee company here called Spro Coffee,
Yep.
and we've done cafes, we've done roasting, we've done consulting, and so we're pretty much a full service coffee company now. That we're really still very small. We're not like a big company, but we do a lot of work for a lot of different people. um, we just closed our roastery, our current roastery, and are moving it to a new location, which I'm still working on at the moment. And then we'll be opening new cafes in the coming year, I think. But in addition to that, I've been very involved with the Barista Championships over the last since really about 2005, and most recently I was the international representative for World Coffee Events. So my volunteer role in that position was to go out to the different nations around the world and work with their national championships to help make sure that they were putting them on according to the rules and helping them out in any way we could to make it to facilitate an easier and better successful event. And so that's what I've been doing. I'm no longer with the WCE. We've separated ways back in, I think, October, and so um, yeah. So now I do in that realm. I still will help out national organizations, preparing judges and training baristas for competition.
Okay, the reason why I like to have Jay on today because there's a little controversy brewing right now. Okay, it comes to the 2024 Latte Art Championship, and they're using fully automatic machine. Okay, I mean that's pretty rare, isn't it? I mean that's
It's certainly new. Like that's this is it's an unprecedented move. Like the championships have never had a super automatic type machine happening, being used in the competition. So it's very new. It's very new, and there's certainly a lot of people that have been that are competitors and
yeah.
people that have been involved for a long time that are upset about that for sure. Upset is a good word to put it. And actually, it's really interesting because we have the SCA, the Specialty Coffee Association, World Coffee Events, which is
Yep.
their subsidiary that runs all of it. They have a Instagram feed where they make these kind of announcements. And evidently, from what Emily Bryant was saying in her video, I guess people were so vehemently against it, they shut off the comments because I guess they just didn't want to hear any more,
Sure.
any more anger about it, which is really interesting because this is an organization that has tried to position itself as being open, woke, all those things, right? You know, and for them to shut off the comments really just kind of underscores
That's
that,
what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
yeah,
I,
that that maybe all of that is just posturing in a facade rather than their true core beliefs, right? If you really believe in open discussion, transparency, freedom of speech, there's no reason to shut off comments,
you know,
right?
especially coffee industries are. I think coffee industries are most progressive. Okay.
Supposed to be.
Okay.
We're pretending to be. We pretend to be, at least. We
And then
pretend to be.
plus, I mean, we are, the people of, I mean, baristas everywhere in the world, right? I mean, baristas, as you know, they don't make a lot of money. Okay, they are working
Right.
somewhat
Right.
minimum wage. Okay, but yeah, I mean, it is very. But people are watching right now. Okay, people are watching. We're having this conversation about the Latte Art Championship. And again, why should care, right? And I mean, why are we talking about this? Okay, why should we care about this? But personally, because I mean, first of all, we are in the coffee community. It's very interesting. Okay, I mean, it is fun to talk about. And for most of you watching this, it's not relevant. Okay, it may not relevant to your life. All right, I don't care. I don't think you really care about the latte art community. But I mean, for you, Jay, I mean, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, there's I look at it, and I've been discussing this with a lot of people in
Uh huh.
in the industry over the last couple days. Some have been more contentious discussions than
Sure.
others, because I'm not. While there's a number of people that beat the drum like this is just an outrage and this is terrible, this is a detriment to our craft and all this, and I'm like, okay, I get that, but is it really, right? As a professional barista, as someone that runs his own cafes and teaches baristas and tries to create a customer
Yep.
experience, that side of me really doesn't care. Like what
Yes.
they do in the competition really regardless of how much I've been involved over the last 15, 17 years, that has not really been a big factor in my professional in my company life. Meaning that, like, to me, the real challenge of being a barista is not about winning the championships or competing. Like, those are important. Those can be important. Those can be kind of fun, and they help build community within the industry. But really, for me, the true battle, is really the day to day. How can we welcome a guest, treat them with hospitality, and just wow them? Right? To me, that that's more important than the championships themselves. So, in that respect, what they do with that, I don't. I really. They want to have a thermal plan, fine, no big deal in my skin. Now, the other side of it, of course, is like, as someone that understands the competitions, where I see that being more of a problem is less about the actual craftsmanship of the
Uh huh.
coffee, because they make rules, and the rules change year to year, and as a competitor, you have to conform. As a judge, you have to enforce, right? And so, in the Latte Art Championship, many years ago, they eliminated the taste portion of that. So years ago, you had the judges would taste the drink and give an
Ah.
evaluation to it, right? But that's been gone for a long time. Just what the competitor really needs is just a method of getting some kind of espresso that is nice and dark and contrasty, and then
Yep.
texturing their milk to get that contrast. Then theoretically, any machine should be able to work.
That's right.
Now, there's all the people one of the guys that I was talking to was like, or actually a couple of people that I had heard from, they were like, well, it's thermoplan, and thermoplan is with Starbucks, and Starbucks is the one feeding them the money. And I was like, and basically the one guy said that they've been suggesting that this happened. Like, suggesting, what does that even mean, right? Like, yes, thermoplan may be a big provider for Starbucks, right? So Starbucks has 16,000 stores.
Sure.
If Thermoplan if they buy two machines for each store, that's 32,000 machines plus Expert. So they've sold 40,000 machines. They
Yep.
probably replace them every couple of years because they're beat on so heavily. So yeah, but you want to bash on Thermoplan without knowing any of the details. If that's the case, then we also kind of have to hold La Marzocco to that same
Sure.
criteria, right? Because when the competition started in 2002, 2000 and 2002, 2005, La Marzocco was a big supporter of the machines. And La Marzocco got a lot of foothold in the industry because they were supplying the 5,000 Starbucks locations at the time, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of people arguing about different things, and I think in the coffee community, people get a little bit wild with some of their thoughts on it. And it's like, okay, maybe we need to come back and take a step back and focus on really what the issue. And so, where I think the issue is, like, a thermoplan machine will cost you anywhere between $18,000 to $25,000,
Okay.
right? So who can afford that? right? If you want to be a competitor in the competitions, and you like a lot of competitors want to have the actual machine that they're going to compete on, so that they can have the advantage.
Yes,
Right?
you're right. Yep.
It's a competitive advantage. It's just like
Yep.
all the NFL teams have, an indoor field and an outdoor field at their
Yep.
training centers, in addition to their stadiums, right? So everybody wants a competitive edge. Now, if the machines are costing $18,000 to $25,000, only very few people can afford it. So now the disparity between the haves and the have-nots in the competitive world now will jump even more, right? We're not the FCA, by doing this, is not narrowing the gap; they're widening the gap.
It makes sense, isn't it? Because you have to have a money to travel.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's very expensive for people to compete, and
It is. I mean,
depending on how big your country is,
yep.
it gets more expensive. Like here in the United States, people are flying right now to Houston, Texas. That's a big expense right now in the United States. You want to fly United? It's what, $500, $600 to fly there, and
It
then
is expensive.
hotels. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and the work in the barista that doesn't have, like you said, doesn't make a lot of money, that has dreams of winning, the SCA doesn't really do anything to make it easier for them.
But you know what? I wonder is how many baristas out there. You know what? It'd be fun to compete in barista championship. I wonder. I wonder. Not that many, right?
What's that? What's that again?
I wonder how many people are working as barista. You know what? I want to compete in the championship. It's not. It's pretty rare.
Well, I mean, most. I think a lot of. If you look at, if you were to go and, I'm sure there's going to be feeds about this online. Let's say you look at the U.S. championships that are happening. I think
Hmm.
right now it's some sort of regional. If you look at majority of people that are competing at this level, this lower level, I think most of them are going to be regular baristas that want to give it a try. They may
Yes.
not necessarily be the most serious. They may not be the most.
Yep.
They won't be the best prepared, but they want to check it out. So they're going to be like regular average baristas. But as you move up to the in in the different levels to the nationals, when we get to the nationals later this year, a lot of the people that are going to be in the finals, those people will be in different positions than most average baristas. For example, if we look at our fellow YouTuber, Morgan,
Yep.
Morgan's position is very different than the majority of the field.
Sure.
Right? Just by the fact that by being a YouTuber, she makes, there was that one video that came out that laid out how much she makes a year. Like just by that fact alone, gives her a tremendous advantage over the average barista.
Yep. Absolutely right. And the plus
Not
you
that
got.
that's a bad thing, but it's just that everybody has a different resource available to them, right? But we can't deny that gives people, certain individuals, greater advantage over the rest of the field. And I think that as a association that runs the organization or runs the competitions, we should try to find ways to narrow that gap in some way.
Man, that is an interesting point there, isn't it? I mean, so right now you are talking about have or have nots, right? If you have it, you're gonna dominate. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the thing. So, like I said, I was a rep for many years, and I was an international judge for many years before that. So I've been around the world judging these competitions, and this is the one consistent that I see throughout the world, regardless of country, whether the country has a lot of money as a nation or doesn't have a lot of money. The people that tend to win tend to be the best, tend to have the best resources, and typically the best capitalization.
You know what? I mean, here's what I love to see. Okay, I love this the Brewster Championship final like prelim, right?
Mhm.
Which means everybody uses the same coffee, same list of the coffee, right? If you got a prelim for like Brewers Cup, okay, everybody uses the same coffee. Prelim as well. They give you two or three choices of coffee and make that coffee special. Have you guys ever talked
Uh,
about that or?
I mean, there are definitely people that talk about doing that. I think a lot of people want to be, but I think a lot of competitors want to be able to present their own coffees.
I mean,
And here's the thing: so, like, I don't think there's anything. Me personally, even as a judge from that point of view, I don't have a problem with people bringing their own coffees, right? Where I think that like what you hear about with the champions, these champions that win, they of course have wild exotic coffees that are just supposedly delicious and beautiful. But if you look at, and that's why I try to tell people, and this is something I was in a big discussion with about a year ago,
Mm.
where it's like, if you look at, I think that competing is about exploiting the rules, right? You have to understand the rules to exploit them so that you can get the best advantage to hopefully win, right? And in order to win, you have to have the most points.
Yep.
And so within our competition, let's say the Barista Championship, for example, the a big part of those scores is how effectively you as the competitor are able to communicate to the judges what they will be experiencing with your coffee. Now we get a lot of people that buy these really crazy coffees, but
Yep.
I really believe that you can take a very normal coffee, simple coffee like a red bourbon. Let's say you had a nice red bourbon from El Salvador, wash coffee, but if you can describe that accurately, I think that you as a competitor can get very high scores without having to go and buy that crazy geisha, anaerobic champagne, whatever.
Hey, so and by the way, so okay, so during the judge, right? When you're
Mhm.
judging, do you care about the taste of coffee, or do you care about the what the present person describe what their coffee tastes like?
Well, it's both, right? Part of it is both. There are criteria where we're looking for certain aspects of the coffee, regardless of what the competitor says. But there's a big portion of, let's say, the Barista Championship where, like, flavor description,
Hmm.
like the competitor must tell you what you're going to taste, and if they don't, that's a zero for them, right? So it's really a matter of like being able to accurately communicate to the judges their experience for that coffee. And if you can do that, I really don't believe that you need to have crazy expensive coffees.
Sure. Hey, hold on, Jay. Can you see me? Okay.
I do notice you're flickering, and
Yeah. Hold on a second here. And hold
oh,
on. Let
you
me.
are frozen at the moment. Your audio is good, but the video has frozen. Are there any comments that I should be looking at? I don't see any.
Jay,
I can't
I'm
see
back.
it. Yes. What's going on?
I'm back.
Okay,
Goodness.
excellent, excellent.
Excellent. Okay. Sometimes I have to refresh a few times. Okay.
Asian Dev says that you're frozen midway. There we go.
Yeah.
And yes, especially Coffee Expo is April 11th to 13th. Yeah, you guys should come. It's a nice time. It's really an
Okay. So
interesting
so
place.
as you know, I'm going for sure. I already booked a ticket yesterday,
Excellent, excellent.
and I know you're coming for sure.
Yes, yes.
And man, it should be fun. But you know what? Also, the World Barista Championship is on my hometown, Korea.
In Busan?
Yeah, Busan.
Oh, excellent, excellent. In
I
May.
mean,
That's
Seoul is
awesome.
my hometown, but yeah, I mean, I go to Busan all the time. But it's
Okay.
gonna be just the championship, or they're gonna do the expo as well. Do you know?
Both, both. They
Oh,
typically will have. I think they'll move the Cafe Show Expo. I think
okay.
that's what it's called in Korea. They'll move that to Busan for the event.
No kidding. So you're not going for that one? I mean, that's a
No,
lot of trip. So you're gonna go. You're gonna be in
I mean
Las
I might go
Vegas, right?
if I decide to go to Asia at that time. Maybe I will, but I really want to get to Seoul. I want to get to Busan and Seoul to see some friends. Like one of my friends, she opened a place called uh, Gimisa Coffee in
Okay.
Seongsu in Seoul.
Okay.
Um, Looks like a really gorgeous place. So I really want to come visit her and check it out.
You know what? Comes to coffee shop, Koreas are spectacular.
Oh gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. But
Before I went to my first trip was I think 2015.
okay.
Before I went there, people were always like, "Oh, there's a coffee shop in every corner," and I always thought that was hyperbole. And then I was in Seoul, and I was like, "It's not just on every corner; it's like every half block and on all four corners." It was crazy, amazing.
Yeah. I don't know how they survive. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Well,
why.
I hear that is a struggle for them. Oh, I do have a question. As since you're Korean, right? As a Korean, right?
Yeah.
Koreans don't really eat breakfast, do they? That's not a thing,
I
is
mean,
it?
we eat breakfast. It's not a breakfast like you think. We eat rice. Just
But at
regular
home,
food. Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. Because if you go out for in Seoul for breakfast, like there's nobody open. It's like, where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven because that's the only place open.
You know, some place. Oh, you have to know the right place.
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, you have to do the right place. Yes, and but again, the Korea coffee shop, you have to be pleasing to your eyes.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
you have to be pleasing to your eyes. If not, you're not going to be successful. You know, it's not like yeah, it's weird over there. And I've been talking to friends over there. It comes to coffee wise,
Hmm.
and it's not underwhelming. Let's put it that way.
Oh no, definitely not. Like there's just my same friend that owns Gemisa now. When I
Yeah.
went my last trip there,
Yep.
I flew there because I wanted to go check out that Green, that 2D cafe, the one that looks like a drawing, right? And so she was like, "Let's go check out this place called Onion."
Okay.
And there's this one. I guess it has multiple locations, but this one Onion location is like an old like Korean house, like
Uh
with
huh.
the tile and roofs, and they glassed it in. It was like an antique building, man. It was, I mean, just gorgeous. I was like, wow, this would be a dope cafe to have in the world.
Sure. I bet you
Yeah,
they have that
amazing.
already in Korea too.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, amazing, amazing stuff there. Amazing.
And so I mean, so do you have okay? Since you are the industry insider,
Okay.
do you have any prediction for the 2024, Jay?
You mean as far as who's going to win? I'm going to go inside the house because my hands
Yeah.
are cold. But
I'm talking about any like new technology or
oh, new technology. This is the part where I'm really bad at, right? Like I'm I am so terrible at knowing what's happening in the business in terms of new technology and equipment.
okay.
Um, honestly, I will have to for me to know what the new stuff is. I'm actually watching your channel and like other YouTubers' channels to see what's like the new hotness in the world.
You know what?
Um,
Jay, I think you're right about that, right? Because I mean, most coffee industry really into it like yourself. I don't think you guys really cares about gadgets, do you?
well, I mean, it's one of those things where I know we've talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
So like I tell you, like over the past year, watching your channel, I found that one tamper, that the hydropresso, the one that has like the gelatin
Yep.
bottom. Right? I saw you reviewing that, and I was like, well, that's kind of dope. Let me go order one of those. But for the most part, I think that you know,
This one right here look like
yeah,
silicon, right?
exactly,
It's called
exactly. I keep wanting to put like a little photo of myself at the bottom of that. Like you can take it apart and stick
Yep.
like. But anyway, so the for the remote, I've talked about this before, and I think with you is that we the people that are those of us that are professionals doing this, like
Yep.
what we have an advantage over the home enthusiast is repetition,
Hmm.
right? Like in a if you work at a decent cafe in a day, you could do 50 to 100, 200
Sure.
shots, right? um, for the home enthusiast, it takes a lot longer to get that kind of repetition in, right? So I think that a lot of baristas will learn their technique, learn their basics, get into their methodology, and once they've really got a hold of what they're doing, they don't necessarily have a need to play with too many more gadgets. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of professionals that will play with the different gadgets that are out there,
Yep.
working with the rakes and things like that, the WDT and all that. Especially when it comes to grinders. Like professional geeky guys are really crazy about like they want to buy the Webers and they want to buy
Yep.
all this other like the EK43s and whatever variations coming out from Malkonig. So there's still a lot of that, but I think like I used to sit around watching when I first started getting to YouTube. I remember watching. I was like, "What's going on with all this gadgetry?" And you were the one that told me this, and you were like, "It's a bunch of guys that want to play with different things." And I was like,
That's it.
"Okay, that makes
That's
sense.
it.
That makes sense. I totally get it now. I totally get it." Like I'm
You know.
into cigars as well, and I got all these stupid lighters and
Yep.
stuff. Don't really need them, but you got so many. Or like I just got this Carter fellow
Yeah.
Carter.
Yep. They're great, aren't they?
Yeah, actually, I got it because this buddy of mine came to Baltimore, this guy that owns Out of Office Roasters. He
Okay.
did a video about one of the coffee producers I know in the Philippines, and called Madame Tere. He was having a screening here, and I was like, dude, let me buy some of your coffee that he had in the movie. And so I bought this as well. And actually, I've really been surprised at how nice it is, to be honest with you. So very pleasing, very pleasing.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, like you're right because I mean, all the gadgets is created by whole bunch of guys in 20s and 30s. Okay,
Right, right.
there's a lot of young kids out there. I consider you are in 30s young. Okay, you know,
Well,
uh,
yeah, when
I
you
mean,
get to be old, yeah, 30 is young. 30 is young.
and I mean even like cups, right? I mean, like for example, my buddy Johnny from Icosa. Okay, they come up
Okay.
with it's called a Venti cup. Okay,
Oh, that's cool.
very cool. Has inside has a fin in it,
A
double
fin.
fin inside has a fin so you can swerve it.
Oh, so it gives a little bit of turbulence on the inside.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Oh, okay.
Johnny's in 30. He's in 30s. Background in engineering. He loves coffee. People come up with all kinds, of gadgets. Cool things, right? To
Oh,
push it.
that's good. How is the feeling on the lips?
Oh, it's really nice. They're
Okay.
really cool. Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
really
think
nice.
to me that's one of the things. Like I was telling Tim Wendelbo this the other
Yeah.
a couple years ago. He gave me one of his cups. He was very kind to give me a cup, but I
Yeah.
thought that the rim was a little bit on the thick side.
Yep.
Like the nice thing I like about this fellow Carter that I was surprised to discover that it's very nice on the lips. It's really
Sure.
thin. Like I don't know for me, but I don't know for other people, but I tend to favor thinner rims so that you really get that nice transfer of
Yep.
your coffee onto your palate.
But do you drink whiskey?
A little bit. I'm more of a rum person.
Okay. So this is it's called neat glass. Okay.
Oh,
Neat
okay.
glass. So this is, I mean, very high quality whiskey glass,
Yes, yes.
and
Oh,
I use that for my pour over or espresso
oh, okay. Do you notice a difference with it?
because you introduce a lot of air inside.
Hmm.
It tastes more fuller.
Okay.
Okay, instead of drinking like straight up. I mean, this is the classic non-neutral cups, right? You
Oh,
know,
right, right.
they're great for cafe, but it is great. But now people are coming up with the different types of glass to drink their coffee.
Oh, interesting, interesting,
But you know
interesting.
what? But I mean, I realize. I mean, they need to come. It's not like tech, right? It comes to iPhones. Every single year, come up with new. Every single year,
Right, right, right.
and seems like to me, last couple of years, coffee industry trying to coming up with something new every single year, become more mainstream.
Well, I mean, the companies do have to like sell more product to stay in
Yes. Yep.
business. So that's one thing you have to balance out. Like, I mean, but I do think that yeah, there's no way around that. That's part of the whole capitalism that we live in.
Sure.
But I think that glassware is something that I think people should explore more. And I saw Asian Dev he said about this one glass company, Zaito. I'm not familiar with that,
Okay.
but I do play around with a lot of Riedel glass and using the Riedel like wine glasses has been an interesting play for with coffee. It's been interesting.
You know what? The thing is, man. I mean, I do love thin glasses, but I cannot have it. I
Okay.
break it so easy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I
That's
mean,
always a problem. That's always a problem.
like even this knee glass here, they're extremely thin on the top. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it.
Oh yeah, one little tick and you're like,
Yep. I
gone.
mean, that's why I mean, like not neutral. If you go to most specialty coffee shop, this thing is heavy duty.
Oh, nice, nice.
It's
But how's the
hard to
rim?
break
Is
this.
is it really thick?
Oh man, this thing is thick. Yeah, this
Oh,
is
okay.
really nice.
Because I
Yeah.
remember the one not neutral, the one that made them everyone famous. That everybody was using the one that's like a cappuccino cup that people love for
Yep.
latte art.
Yep. They
Like
do.
honestly, I
You
think
mean
that
like
I
something
think
like
that rim
that?
is too thick for
Yep.
me. I don't. It to me, it's neither here nor there because it's very thick on the rim. So I'm like, okay.
And you know what? I mean, as a home coffee hobbyist, right? As a coffee hobbyists, we always want something, right? I mean, these guys out there, they're in 20s and 30s. They have some money, they have time, so they're always looking for some new gadgets. Okay, I mean that's kind of like the common theme.
Oh
They're
yes,
not happy,
absolutely.
they're not happy with tools. They have to coming up something new every year, like something like this. This is the auto comb from
I've been
Bristol
seeing
Hustle.
that on people's channels. That's interesting.
So this is great for consistency.
I hear you, Kyle.
Okay, spins
Okay.
around, fantastic, great for coffee shop for sure. But again, a lot of gadgets, a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
got it.
gadgets. So you're
Do
not
you
into
know a lot of
gadgets,
people
then
that are using those in coffee shops?
what?
Do you know people that are using those in coffee shops?
Not in Tucson.
Okay, okay. I'm
I
just
was just,
curious. I don't know if anyone's seen those being deployed in the field.
I know somebody used it a couple of years ago at the Brewster Championship.
Right, right, right. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen people, but here's the thing: people will use different things in the competitions, like in the championships, that they would never use in their own cafes, right? Because I don't know why. Like one of the things that one of my big sticklers with the competition is that
Hmm.
all these competitors they come out with these really sometimes very interesting signature drinks. And to me, I think the signature drink is something that could be really interesting to an average consumer that comes into your coffee shop like we've got this signature drink and they might want to try that. But most baristas, most competitive baristas, never bring their signature drinks to their cafes. A lot of them will tell you, "Oh, it's just too difficult." And I'm just like, "Well, what are you? Are you a professional or not? Like, make it work. It's not like Thomas Keller at the French Laundry was like, well, we're not going to do that dish because it's too difficult."
That's. Hey, do you remember like a couple of years ago, one barista frozen their milk,
Oh, right, right. To get the sweeter
sweeter
extraction out of
experience.
it.
I don't know how many gallons of milk they use, but just get a little bit of milk liquid. So
Oh
there
yeah,
was a big
yeah,
thing
yeah.
back then, right? There was a big thing back then. So is a presentation part of the judging score?
I'm sorry. What's that again? Yes, presentation is part of the judging score.
Okay.
So if you and a lot of that will come. Let's say in the Barista Championship, for example, at the
Yep.
bottom of the score sheets, the sensory judging score sheet, you'll see a section for presentation
Uh-huh.
professionalism, and you'll kind of take a lot of what you've seen throughout the presentation into account at that point.
So it's a big part of it then, right? Just big part.
It is.
Is that big or small?
It's an important part of it. I don't know how. I would have to look and recalculate everything because the rules have changed again. So I
Yeah.
would have to recalculate to see how heavy it is in the whole. Like like I was saying, if you're a competitor, you should understand the score sheets exceptionally well,
That's
so that
right.
you can decide what points you're
Yeah.
willing to throw away and what points you can't afford to lose.
By the way,
Right.
if you're just joining us, we are talking to Jay Ono from Ono Coffee on YouTube. We are talking about some various coffee events coming up. Talking about some Latte Art Championship for 2024. Little controversy is brewing, but it's
A
not a
little
big
bit
deal.
of controversy, a little bit
Yeah,
of
a
controversy.
little
I mean,
bit.
there definitely within some circles and some individuals, the
Yep.
the consternation is very high, is very very high. But um, I don't know if it's truly. In some ways, I don't know if it's truly necessary, but
Yeah. So by the
it's
way, so
almost sunset here. So
you can find Jay's channel on YouTube
yes,
under
yes.
Ono Coffee. Okay.
Oh no, coffee.
Ono
That's
Coffee.
correct. That's correct.
And then Jay, I love your older videos. Okay, older video with that guy. What's that guy? Skates.
Oh, Greg. Yes, of course, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, those are very popular. Those are very popular in the channel.
And you talk, man. That guy has everything. Talk about gadgets. He got them all.
And what you see in the video is just a small portion of the equipment that he actually has in his house. There are other machines scattered, and a roaster, and a huge barbecue smoker. Like it's really like, whoa, dude, you've got some crazy toys here. And he
But you know
just
what? That.
moved, and it's really interesting. He just moved to a new place, and
Mhm.
he was telling me, it's like, oh man, he's on a well system, so he's got this because he does development work for different manufacturers as well. He has to have like really balanced water.
Yep.
So he's putting this super like water system in his house, and I was like, look, I was looking at the photos. I was like, whoa, man, that's some crazy stuff. But eventually we'll get back to his house to do more videos with him.
You should. Okay, I think you should. I think you should spend some time there. I bet you can make some wonderful videos with it for sure. And then, so,
Yeah, yeah,
what is your
most certainly.
plan, Jay? I mean, so are you gonna? So you're not gonna open up the cafe,
No, no, we were planning to open more cafes
okay?
this year, and so like I said, we had to. So the building that we were in for the last seven
Yep.
years was being sold, so we had to get out by the end of the year. So we got out, and the places that we're looking to move to, they won't be ready for probably another month or 2 months or so.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like we got to kind of hang out at friends' roasteries for the next like month or two, which is fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like that's the one nice thing about the community, coffee community in general, and especially the coffee community here in Baltimore. Like those most of us know each other and have great relationships, and like when people have struggles or have
Okay.
challenges, we open our doors. Like one of the other roasters in the area, not too long, maybe a couple months ago, they had a roaster fire that shut them down for like a couple weeks. So
Wow.
we let them come over and roast on our machine and get them through. And so there's a lot of like symbiotic relationship, even though we're all different companies here.
By the way, it comes to coffee. Is that roaster matters?
What do you mean, the roasting machine?
Yeah, it matters. The coffee roasting machine matters. I mean, I
Well,
mean, I mean, up to a certain point, you're gonna have a good machine, right? Doesn't matter who that is. You gotta have a decent working machine. But like, for example, some roaster costs you $100,000. Okay, I mean, we are talking about the brand name. Okay, like
right,
Loring.
right,
Okay.
right. If you talk to the people, if you talk to the individuals,
Yep.
yes, if you're a person that has a Loring 70 Kestrel and you talk to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, man, it's the best machine ever. It's so different."
Okay.
And there is a difference between, let's say, like using a Loring Civets air roaster versus a drum
Yep.
roaster, right? There can be a discernible difference. Typically, the air roasters are better or give you a lot more clarity in the brightness,
Uh huh.
and because they're doing more convective heat rather than conductive heat, whereas the drum roasters are more conductive, so you just get a lot. I'm a drum guy, so like I'm
Okay.
naturally inclined to go in that direction. And when you ask me like, does the machine make a difference? Sure, absolutely. I'll say that. Like for example, but that's really more ego talking than any
Okay.
real. Like for me, the ultimate roaster is like the one that I learned on a
Yep.
1955 UG 22 Probat. Like to me, there is no greater roaster, right? Like if you want to have like if I wanted to have a roaster in my roastery that was like that, I'd be like, that's the one that I would like to have. Now, I haven't been able to spend $85,000 to buy one, plus the installation of it, which is probably another $30,000 just for the exhaust tubing
Yep.
alone. So, but really, when it comes to roasting, what are the important aspects? Is heat application. Um, Heat application is the big one, right? So heat application and and pretty much actually that's probably and airflow, right? Airflow is a big thing. You want to have airflow because you'll see these guys and they have. I've never seen it in person. I've only seen it in like photos, but you see these guys with these perforated drums and they turn on their gas grills and they're like roasting.
Mhm.
And like to me, it's like, well, that's craziness. But you know what? If you can modulate your heat and control your heat and apply it in a consistent manner, why couldn't you get good coffee out of it? It should be
Sure.
able to
Okay.
do beautiful stuff for you. So I tend to be a little more practical on certain things or in reality on one side of things. Like, yeah, the one side of me is like, you should only buy Probat you should never buy anything else because otherwise you're wasting your money. But really, you can use anything and make it. Like, I mean, I've seen guys that make. I mean, I've had great coffee from someone that's like cooking it over a
Sure.
stovetop.
Yep.
Actually, and here's the thing. So like the best espresso I've ever had in my entire career was in June. I was in Bangkok, Thailand. I went to a place called Wan Wan Coffee Roasters. I actually have a video about this on my
Okay.
channel. And I walked into this roastery, this roasting place because it was a house in the middle of Bangkok. someone recommended to me, and I walked in, and it turns out I knew the owner, the barista champion of Hong Kong, a guy named Don Chan. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, man, what are you doing?" He's like, "Blah blah blah blah," and he had just won the 2023 Hong Kong Championship and was going to Athens a couple weeks after my visit. So he was playing around with these coffees, and he's like, "Let me make you some coffee." And so he made me this one coffee. I think it was from Ecuador,
Okay.
from Pepe Hihon, and he was like, "Try this." So he went outside. He roasted this small sample on an Ikawa, right? And I'm kind of like, I'm actually someone that's like, why would you buy an Ikawa? Because it's ridiculous. There's
Hmm.
60 grams for $4,000.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense for me personally. But I'm just like, but he roasted on that, and then he brought it inside, and he pulled the shot on a Flair 58.
I mean, right then you didn't rest either.
No, yeah, yeah, no, and it was insane. I was like, this is the best espresso of my career on
Wow.
a Flair 58. And oh, and here's interesting. So, like you were talking, you just said like he roasted, the big thing in our business is we talk about roasting the coffee and then cupping it for quality control the next day, and then after that, waiting 7 days, right? So, if you talk to most commercial roasters, let's say they cup today, Tuesday. Tomorrow morning, they'll cup the coffees, make sure that it was correct or whatever, and then they'll bag it and ship it out.
Yep.
Or they bagged it and shipped it out nonetheless. I did a series of videos on my channel on a live stream where we roasted the coffee on the live stream, cupped it or drank it, tasted on the live stream immediately after the roaster, and then did it for the next 7 days. The day after, when we would normally quality control the coffee, compared to fresh out of the roaster, was terrible. Like it was dramatically worse. And ever since, I've been thinking about it ever since that time, and it's like really challenged our sacrosanct beliefs as far as what we're doing. It's like maybe we need to like cup immediately or wait a week to really see that the qualitative, the
Okay,
qualities of
so
the
okay,
coffee.
so here's the thing. I've been telling my viewers right now. I mean, I've been telling we've got a couple of viewers watching at the moment. Okay, a few viewers watching. Comes to light roast, I want them to wait minimum 7 to 10 days. Light roast.
Okay,
Okay, and the darker roast, just wait about at least a week, or at least if you don't drink it, wait about 2 or 3 days minimum. Do not drink right away,
okay,
and because I have a roaster set up here as well. Okay, so I mean I put a shot right after roast, tastes like garbage. Okay,
okay, okay. Oh yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense for espresso for sure.
I mean, for what do you think? I mean, I know you've been drinking a lot of coffee. So the coffee you drink in Bangkok, right? You said best coffee you ever had. Is that that person roast right away, or
Yeah, he went. He basically, if you get the chance to watch the video, he basically
yeah?
walks to the back room, roasts the coffee, comes back, grinds it, brews it immediately, and it was wow. It was I was really blown away.
And the coffee was a Pepe Hiron, you said?
Yeah, I think it was Pepe Hijón from Ecuador.
I mean, that is a fancy coffee, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This was like truly fancy, like really rare kind of coffee. This wasn't like the red bourbon from El Salvador that we're talking about
Exactly.
earlier.
Yes.
I mean, this was definitely like this was stuff that he was planning on, like, just trying to decide whether he would use it to compete in Athens.
Man, that's interesting.
But it
So
was
you know what?
good. It was super good.
The fact is, okay. I mean, I have to say, I've been making coffee for a long time. Okay, but I mean, I never had espresso that mind blowing like you have.
Well,
And
but here's the thing. So, like the truth is, the mind blowing espresso like that, even in my world, as a judge who judges around the world tasting espresso consistently throughout the year, is a very rare occasion. Very, very like I remember I had a it was 2002,
okay,
2002, 2003. 2003 September, I was at the NASCOR event, the North American Specialty Coffee Retailers Expo in Portland. It no longer exists.
Okay.
And a barista for Zoka Coffee in Seattle named Kyle Larson. He made me a macchiato that was like, it was one of the ones that was like, holy moly, this is amazing. Like this was, and how many of those times have happened in the last 20 years? Maybe two. I'm actually
Wow,
trying to think of
really?
when was the other time that I had an espresso that blew my mind? Actually, probably not till June.
No kidding. You know what?
Like I've had great espresso, don't get me wrong, but like ones that are truly transcendental that are like holy moly, this is like the most amazing thing I've ever had. Like that's very rare. Very rare.
I mean, even you, right? I mean, I know you taste some finest coffee in the world, throughout your career.
Well, theoretically.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about the competitions, right? So the competitions are, let's say, the basic grading system runs from 0 to 6, right? Maximum points, and we tie them to descriptives to help the judge help guide the judges to their score. So 0 is unacceptable, 1 is acceptable, 2 is average, 3 is good, 4 very good, 5 excellent, and 6 is extraordinary. Most people presume that the world champion is producing sixes for their espresso. That's a natural assumption. The
Yep.
reality is most of them are producing 3.5 to 4s, maybe four
Oh,
fives. It's not as it's they're not as good as that you would think just naturally, because there's a lot again, there are some other factors, but it's also one of those things where like you're in a competitive situation, so there's a lot more stress on you than making coffee in your home cafe. I do think that a lot of baristas make better coffee in their home cafes because they're comfortable, right? They're comfortable,
yes.
they're
Yep.
more sure, they don't have that stress of like I'm being judged in that
Yep.
way. So I think the experience for if you want to experience a barista, I think the best way to do it is in their cafe because they're in control. They have that comfort level.
Yep. The comfort level, man. And so, Jay, so you do any pour over, or you just
Oh
mostly
yeah.
espresso?
Yeah, I almost never brew espresso anymore because
Okay.
it's a lot. So for me it's a lot of it's not a lot of work, but like it's the cleaning part that I don't enjoy. Like
Yeah.
the nice thing about having an operating cafe is that I can go into the cafe and the team is working and I can pull a shot and then walk away. Thanks, guys, and then never have to worry about anything, right?
You know what?
So
I mean, same here too. As you can see, so this is my coffee desk, right?
yes,
I mean, I have all the tools here. Okay.
perfect.
I mean, if I want a coffee, I just get up, just come here, and then make some coffee and just toss in the garbage can. That's it. I have everything I need to
Yeah,
make good coffee.
exactly.
Convenient.
And for
But
me, the other side of it was that that's a little bit different than your situation. Is that since I have a team that's working, I don't have to clean.
that's right. Yep.
Like I can make the mess. Like I'm not going to leave a mound of stuff, but I don't have to you know do the kafiza stuff at the end
Sure.
and clean out all the grinders. I mean, so my team is doing that. So it's so for me to do that at home. Now I have to make sure I have coffee at home, and I have to grind it. I have to make a mess, and then I have to clean it. I was like, oh, forget it. I'll just brew. I, I don't typically. I'll do pour overs once in a while because I do have a V60 in the kitchen, but I also have a Bonavita immersion brewer,
Yep.
like a Clever. Um, Actually, I brewed this coffee with that
Okay.
just before we started today. So
So I mean,
I do
so
mostly pour overs now, or some kind of brewed coffee now because it's a little bit more easy.
so how often you brew at home comes to making coffee? Do you brew coffee every morning at home?
No, no, actually,
No.
from compared to most coffee people that I know, I probably drink the least amount of coffee. Like this is a 12-ounce
Yep.
brew. This is the first coffee I brewed today.
Yeah.
And really, I brewed it so that I could have my afternoon
Snack.
pan dulce, right? So every once in a while, that's not, I can't do this every day, but like I like to have Mexican concha or sometimes the
Oh
galleta,
man, you know what, Jay?
right?
Uh, if you're just joining us, we are talking to Jay from Owner Coffee on YouTube channel. I mean, Jay he is a big time foodie. Okay. I mean, Jay knows how to eat good food. I mean, I can. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
reason why
Well,
I
you can tell
cannot.
by my cheeks I can eat.
I mean, I cannot wait to see you on in April in Chicago. Maybe we
Oh,
should
we're
go
gonna
out
It'll
for.
be a nice time. It'll be a nice time.
You know what, Jay? I think I told you earlier. I give up on sugar. Okay.
Yes, you said that.
So and I give up, which means I give up on bread, any flours, gluten, everything is gone. So I only eat meat and green veggies. That's it. But
That's not bad.
I'm gonna make exception for that
Oh,
day. You and I go out.
okay.
Okay.
Where do you want to go?
You know what? I mean, you let me know. Okay.
Okay.
I'm fine. We just go out and we're gonna have some good time there.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So what is your plan for 2024, Jay? Do you have any big plan or?
Oh, I mean, like for me, the plan for 2024 is, we want to make more coffee. And,
Okay.
like I said, I'm working on some potential cafe concepts right now.
Okay.
And, they're still in very early stages. So I don't know what direction, I don't know where they will end up going. I presume that some of them will go nowhere. At some point it'll just kind of fizzle out or whatever, but some of them may work out. Um, but I'm also planning to get back down to the farms this year. I'm trying to put together right now a trip to Nicaragua to
Okay.
go visit some of our farmers there and see what's going on, because it's been a couple years since the pandemic that we haven't really gone to origin. And also, since I do the YouTube channel, it's also like want to make more videos for YouTube. Um, and my focus really on the YouTube has been more about experiential things with coffee,
Sure.
right? Going to places and experiencing
Yep.
coffee in different locations. I haven't, which I think, to be honest with you, has been detrimental to the channel, right? Like I see your channel, which I'm really surprised, man. Like, congratulations, like 232,000 subscribers. That's
You
amazing.
know what? But I got lucky with the shorts. That's it.
Is that what's driving it?
Oh yeah,
Because
shorts. It's
you have
all about the shorts.
surpassed Lance. Like,
Oh yeah.
I was looking today. I was like, oh, 232. Atlanta's at
No,
221. I was like,
no. Because
whoa,
I mean,
man, that's like
Lance
you were
is
just at
here.
161 like a year ago.
Because I mean, Lance is here. I'm here. Okay.
Right, right.
Because I mean, I got luck with a lot of shorts. Okay.
Okay, well, that's
Shorts
awesome, man.
drives
Awesome.
all the subs. My biggest fan from India. Okay. My
Oh, okay.
Gen Z friends. Okay. 18 and 25.
Oh, nice, nice,
A
nice.
lot of guys over there, they got nothing else to do. Watch my videos. So yeah,
Well, that's
I mean,
perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect.
but again, I mean, that's the thing because I have a core group of people. Okay, that's it. Maybe like maybe 2,000, 5,000, depend on the content. The other day, I made a fun video, and then I funded the best grinder under $500,
Oh, nice, nice.
according to James Hoffman.
Oh, okay, okay.
According to James Hoffman, that is the keywords. All right.
And that blew it up.
I mean, about 6,000 views.
Oh, nice.
Because I usually get about maybe one or two, 3,000 views per videos, but according to James Hoffman, I'm telling you, I
So I
mean,
need to start putting James's face on my thumbnails. Is that it?
you know what? I mean, James has a lot of pull in
Oh,
coffee
yeah.
community. Okay.
Yeah, one of my friends was just telling me that everybody calls him Daddy Hoff. And
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know
oh,
why.
wow, interesting.
Yeah,
I just call him James.
I mean, goodness, I think Lance likes to call him Daddy for some
Oh,
reason.
nice, nice. Well, I guess somebody has to have a daddy.
Because, but
Short for people with who low. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
you know what? I mean, but James figured it out. Okay, he figured it out. How to watch, how people watch his channel, his videos. Very
Oh,
clever
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
very good. He's very good. He's
I mean,
always been a good guy. He's always been a good guy.
and is that coffee? Okay, I mean, is the coffee industry in U.S. or worldwide? Is that very clicky or very pretentious or any politics or what's going on
Oh,
there?
yes. Yeah, yes to all of that. There is
Okay,
clickiness. There is incredible amounts of pretense, and this all depends on what group you're part of, right?
okay,
And there's definitely politics are just, yeah, absolutely. Within the industry, there's a ton of politics. Like all of it, you're seeing like this whole consternation with the latte art thing,
yeah,
with the SCA, the Special Coffee Association, the World Coffee events. there's a lot of politics in all of that. A lot, incredible amounts.
I
Like
mean, so
I pulled back from my involvement with the SCAA many years ago because I was like, I just don't want to.
mhm.
That's just not my thing, man. I'm not here for that.
Oh, so, okay, so back to coffee. Who is
Mm.
the like up and coming, right? The up and coming, or who is the hottest coffee producer right now in the world?
Oh,
I mean, like the coffee farm that producer that's most sought after. Is there somebody out there?
I mean, I guess the ones that Sasa Sestic says that are the
Okay,
most popular. I don't. I
really
don't.
from
I. I
Ona
mean,
Coffee.
I mean, and I say that with a bit of facetiousness,
Okay,
like because I don't. Again, like it's one of those things where I'm not really paying attention to that kind of thing. Like I in my professional life, I look and work with the producers that we work with
okay.
that produce very beautiful coffees.
Mhm.
And if I need them to do things that are really wild, we
Yep,
certainly can.
exotic. Yep.
Yeah, and the people that I think that are like doing amazing work are not the ones that are being paid attention to by the rest. Like for example, for a while we had a lot of talk about anaerobic coffee,
Yes. Yep.
anaerobic. We started working with anaerobic coffees in 2014.
Wow. ten
So by
years ago.
2015, we were already producing anaerobic
Okay.
coffee with our producers. And it's like, and then I think it was like not till 2018 or 2019 that it became like really popular
Yep.
once it becomes popular in the competitive circuit, then that's really when it
That's
blows up.
right.
So there's a lot of great producers. I mean, like I gotta say, I didn't know about Pepe Gijon until Dawn gave me the coffee. And I actually reached out to Pepe recently because I thought I was supposed to go to Ecuador. And then now this whole political thing in Ecuador has happened again. So who knows if we'll ever get down there now. But but there's a lot of the thing is that there's a lot of wonderful producers out there. There's a lot of beautiful coffees. The challenge as let's say a green buyer or a coffee roaster is you have to go out and find them.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
And you could certainly and now it's different than it used to be 10 years ago. Now it's you can go to many different coffee importers or brokers that work with very niche specialty stuff. So it's a lot easier now for smaller roasters to get really fancy coffees without having to actually go to origin. Because if you go to origin, like it's really a expensive proposition, right? Like if you just imagine like yourself going to a country, you're like, let's say you want to fly down to Central America from the United States. It'll cost you probably $600 to $800. Then you have to rent a place to live. During that time, arrange for transportation and get around. Now, sometimes depending on your relationship with the producer, they may have the resources to accommodate you, either on their farm or in their house or something. But if you're dealing with smaller farmers, they may not have that luxury. So you'll have to have this expense of meals, transportation, accommodations. So if you're not buying a lot of quantity, it becomes difficult to justify that expense, right? Like if you would incorporate, let's say it costs you $3,000 to do a week trip to
Mhm.
Origin, you kind of have to build that in. You kind of have to include that in your price to cover the cost. And if you're only buying like I don't know 3 4 pallets, that's a lot per pound to add on. And so it makes, and then you now have to transport those 3 or 4 pallets back to your roastery, which is if you're unlucky, it can be very expensive. So it can be difficult. It can be different, but they're like nowadays, it's a lot easier for smaller roasters to get really nice quality coffee.
But you know what? But still, I mean, people, watching right now. I know some of you out there, they're looking for really, really nice ones. I mean,
Hmm.
most times, the entire lot is bought up by somebody from elsewhere. Okay,
Hmm.
and I was talking to one of my friends from Korea. A lot of Korean people buy the entire lot. Okay,
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
ma-
yeah, yeah,
doesn't matter what the cost is. You know.
yeah. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that let's say we go to auctions, right? Like I've been to a
Yeah.
few auctions, and one of my friends is Taro Suzuki, who owns is it Sasa Coffee? Anyway, we were in Colombia one year in Armenia, and there was this auction for the Colombian auction, and these guys, they're so crazy. Like if you're an American buyer, right? American buyers aren't so crazy in the fact that they can't buy coffees. They can't just buy any coffee at any price because the American market is so price conscious, right? Like
Yep.
you charge, you tell people that the coffee is $20 a pound, and they're like, "What are you talking about? That's crazy, right?" So you go to these auctions, and there's buyers there that are like from Japan, from Korea, from China, and they will buy it at almost any price. Like it's amazing. Like Suzuki bought this. He bought that geisha a couple years ago, nearly almost $2,600 a pound. Right, it was for a small line. It cost him like 125, 150,000 dollars for this coffee, and I'm like, wow, dude, how do you even move that? Like, who buys that? Who How are you
Oh,
selling that?
people buys it.
Yeah, yo, no doubt.
Right.
But if you were to say to someone in the United States, hey, here's this coffee that's $500 for 100 grams.
Yeah.
Like, I think people, I don't know if you'd move it. Like, I have a hard time moving some of our most expensive coffees, and we're very like niche focused coffee place. So,
You know what? I mean, even like Onyx, right? The Onyx did what Epsilon coffee subscription.
oh, okay.
There's sold out every year.
How much is their subscription?
Well, it's not cheap. Like $1,200, right?
Oh, how many coffees do you get out of that?
I think one a month. I think. Yeah.
All right, all
Yeah.
right.
Someone's watching right now. Fact check for me, okay? Fact check for me about Onyx. It's called Epsilon or something. Usually they give you a grinder too.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, grinder.
Yeah.
What kind of grinder they give you?
I'm not sure. They used to give you a Brata or something like that, or fellow oat. I don't know. But yeah,
Uh,
I mean, that's and the say coffee, just this very special coffee, couple $100, 300 or something, 300 plus, sold out. Okay, right
Oh,
away. Okay,
all
yeah.
right. Oh, that's good.
I
That's
mean,
good to hear. That's good to hear.
so I mean, yeah, they moves. Because people, again, we got hundreds of millions of people drinks coffee, right? Out of that, you only need fraction of people has money have that coffee. Kind of like bragging rights, isn't it?
Oh,
Bragging
that's
rights.
true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Just like having a what $10,000 coffee grinder. Just grind coffee for you. That's it. Nothing more. But that costs you 10 grand.
Which one is this?
Titus.
Titus. Oh.
Titus.
Yeah, the grinder that I would like to buy has actually come down in price because of the exchange rates.
That's the one from Japan.
Yeah, the one from Japan.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 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 You show me
It's
that
the
one.
it's a tabletop roller
Yep.
grinder, and I was like, man, it grinds so nice. I really need to buy that. Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
How much is that? They're pretty pricey.
So before, with the new exchange rate with the Japanese yen, it's probably close. It's closer to 14,000. Before it used to be 16, 17,000.
You said that roller, not the.
Yeah, yeah. It's a tabletop roller grinder.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's really quite nice. Really quite nice.
Is that the roller grinder give you what consistency?
Yeah. So rollers tend to give you better consistency in the grind size particulates. They're more expensive. They're more difficult to produce.
Okay.
That's why only like big milling companies will produce them. Like you can buy like commercial scale
Uh huh.
roller grinders. And actually, if you like, for example, if you ever look at like Folgers, right? If you open a
Yeah.
box, or let's say Folgers or Cafe Bustelo, or maybe
Yeah.
even like any of those grocery store ones, you look at the particulate size. Like it's super consistent. Like you never see that level of consistency in a burr grinder. Like I don't. It's just like wow, that's really nice. Coffee's not great, but it's the grind quality
Sure.
is superb. So those are all done with big commercial roller grinders, and yeah, just so much nicer,
And then
so
you're
much
gonna
more
bring it.
consistent, so
So
much
you're gonna
less
bring.
powder.
So that's good for what? Filter coffee then, not for espresso then, isn't it?
Well, the place that I know that uses it for filter coffee. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah,
could be done. I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe it could get sized down to espresso, but it's really more for. I mean, the place that I know
filter.
that uses it for filter.
But
They don't do espresso.
can you
Hmm?
tell the difference in cup quality from that grinder?
Well, I mean, can you tell? I mean, I would say I have not,
Okay,
only because the only place that I've had, or the places that I've had it were cafes in Japan, where I went there and had coffee from them. So I'm not really able to. I'm only drinking their coffee. I'm not really able to compare it with coffee that I know,
that's right.
or like sit it next to my grinders and
Yeah,
grind together and do head to head comparisons. So does it necessarily get better? I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I think the quality of the grind is really nice.
sure.
Um, I think it's a cool. Like this is where like the gadgetry comes in for me. It's like, oh,
That's
it's
right.
probably
Yeah.
cool to have.
You said $14,000, right?
Yeah, now I think that I calculated it when I was there in June, and it's like 14.
Brand new.
Brand new, brand new,
Oh,
brand new.
oh, I wonder if you can get a used one for like under 10.
Well, they're not really mass produced, so I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen one on. I mean, I've never seen one on the market. But then again, I'm not really looking at the Japanese market because when I do research for the videos that I'm doing
Yep,
about the cafes that I visit in Japan, like it's really difficult because I have to go into the Japanese Google and search in Japanese
yep.
in the actual kanji and kana, and I don't really know that. So I'm like, so it's really a difficult struggle to get that to work. But to search for, I haven't really searched for equipment.
So when you're in Japan, the coffee in Japan is pretty dark though, isn't it? Dark roast coffee.
A lot of the older school Kissa tens that I
Yep,
prefer to visit tend to be more of the darker, a little bit more medium. Some of them are changing, though. I've seen some changes in the roast profiles over the years, because of this third wave, especially coffee
that's right. Yep.
influence. Even my favorite cafe, Cafe del Hombre, since the nephew, Hayashi, took over, like
Mhm.
I've noticed distinct changes in the roast profiles there, and some of the selection of the coffees have changed. It's like, oh,
You know what? But thing is, whenever you drink really really good dark roast coffee, kind of like tastes like coffee you used to, right? In your head,
yes.
you know, really dark, dark, but they're very chocolate. Or someone said this is coffee that tastes like coffee. You know what I mean? That
Absolutely.
kind.
And I think one of the things that we always like, especially in the specialty sector, we always kind of equate dark with bad. But
No,
and dark as being bad is something that stems from the commercial side of things, right? Because they're roasting darker, and they're also using much more troubled coffees, right? With a lot more defects and a lot more issues than they have with what we're using in specialty. And so I've always found that if we use nice quality coffee, the
well,
same coffee we use for, oh, are you all good? If we use nice quality coffee, the same quality that we're used to using for lighter roasts, and roast them darker, it's still a very nice coffee. And I think that the people that really enjoy dark coffees really come to enjoy it even more, because now they're not tasting that diesel and that dirt and the muddiness and all the off flavors that you have in commercial grade coffees. At least that's my thought on it. That's been my experience in the cafes.
so I mean, do you like this dark roast coffee in US that you really enjoy?
In the US, I haven't really had much dark roasted here.
Okay.
Like because most of the times if I go to cafes in the United States, they're specialty cafes, and everybody's really light. People are
Yep. You're right.
a lot of them are still in the whole phase of this super light, super bright.
Yep. Super. Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
And so I'm like, well, okay, okay.
How about your coffee? You go usually dark or more like
I've
medium?
had people say that our coffee is dark, but it's
Okay.
more medium. It's more
Okay.
kind of city to full city.
Okay.
There are coffees that we do as a lighter roast, but I like the more development. Like this, what I'm drinking now is our house coffee, which we call
Yeah,
House Nation,
yeah,
and really it's one that we blend and roast to be that coffee, one that's very accessible to most people, that they can come in and drink either black or
yeah.
add cream and sugar if they really want to.
Sure,
So I think that's, chocolate, nuts, a
that's
little
right.
bit
Yeah,
of fruitiness to
yeah.
it.
You know what? It's sometimes hard to find those. I'm talking about clean cup like that. You know.
Yes, yes, yes. It is difficult to find with, especially in the specialty sector where everything's bright and light.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy, right? It's because the one coffee I've been drinking from Black and White, peach co-fermented,
Okay.
tastes like peach candy.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds
Sounds
great.
great. Okay, I think great for iced coffee as well. Peach candy iced coffee, fantastic. But if I'm gonna serve that to friends, they're not gonna like it.
No, no, too crazy for them. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're way. I mean, this thing is totally out of control for them.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
just want
yeah.
a coffee, right? They just want a coffee, add some milk and sugar, eat with the breakfast. That's all they want.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
exactly what I like.
with some bacon and eggs, some hash browns.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Sure.
all you need. That's what I like to have. And I mean, I'll drink other coffees that are like more esoteric for
Yeah.
breakfast, but really, if I can have something a little bit chocolatey, that's fine too.
Sure. Anyway, so how people find you, Jay?
Well, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube and on the Ono Coffee channel. That's ONO Coffee.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram
Yep.
under Ono Coffee with the number 4.
Number four.
And then our secondary channel is called Spro Coffee, which we do
Bro.
those Spro Coffee videos are more about like cafe life,
Yeah.
cafe operations, and basically I have a bunch of videos there that lays out how we make all of our
Yeah.
drinks, exactly how we make them. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. That's kind of what we do. I've been thinking about doing more product videos. What do you think about it? Is that important? That's important, isn't it?
Product videos.
Like it seems like everybody makes
Okay.
views based on product videos.
If you don't do the product video, you gotta be the first. Be the
Oh,
first. Okay. You don't want to be the last. You gotta be the
right,
first.
right.
It's
Wow.
all about the first. All about the keywords, right? Somebody searching for, let's say, Pepe here on coffee, right? Talk about that. You need to be first. Get out there. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. It's like, so Asian Dev says no product videos, do shorts with good story. Shorts are so, I'll be honest with you, like for me, shorts, I don't find shorts for us to do that well on my channel. But I think and David says, there's too many this is the thing that I actually like kind
Yeah.
of like struggle with. So I have a video on my channel. It's the number one, I think it's the number one video right now for the past since the inception of my channel, which is it features Ben Jones, who was one of the national AeroPress champions,
Mhm.
talking about the AeroPress Clear, and it has
Sure.
like 16,000 views. And I think that's the number one. The number one after the Momoland video, right?
Sure.
And so I wonder, like, should I be doing more review, like gear videos? Because it's like, like I really enjoy the coffee videos we do, like about traveling and like visiting
Sure.
places and meeting people. And I still have a lot to produce of those. Like I think that I probably have this that's been shot and not edited. I probably have enough. If I did one video a week, that I could probably run through almost the end of the year without shooting anything else.
But again, I mean, but the thing is that those videos are fantastic, but you gotta put it out there, right? You gotta put it out there. Just get your momentum going, because you're
Yeah.
a great storyteller.
Oh,
Okay.
well, thank you.
Yeah, you're a great storyteller. You gotta tell the story.
I
Go
appreciate that.
place it. Whatever you go to, even like Las Vegas, right? You do like audio show, visual show. You know,
True, true.
tell the stories, and I know you go to a lot of trade shows.
Well, I don't go to that many. I just go to a couple. Like I go to the
Sure.
NAB for YouTube because of the YouTube stuff, and then the SCA show. Actually,
I
those
mean
are the
that.
main two that I do.
I mean that alone. There's a lot of story to tell, right?
True, true. Like I mean,
You
I
got
was able to get a lot of videos out of the last trip to
sure.
SCA.
And but
That's true.
I think people wants to watch. I think people tired of product reviews. Okay,
Uh,
so many out there.
yeah.
But
Plus,
if you don't do
I'm not that enthusiastic to do. Like I don't
exactly,
really want. Like I'll do like Like I have one that's coming out tomorrow about the because I just bought a. I was able to buy a what do you call that the Mocha Master.
Yeah, Mocha Master.
Yeah, so I finally bought one after all these years. I got a really great deal at Williams Sonoma. I happened to
Yeah,
walk in there to buy something else. I was like, oh, $200. I'll buy that.
that's good
And
price.
yeah, it was really great. And so I just kind of did an unboxing video. Like I want to do, maybe I'll do things. I mean, I'm okay with doing things like that, but I don't like. I was watching Lance's video the other day because one of my viewers was telling me to watch it, and he like tears the machine apart, and I'm like, I don't want to tear a machine apart. I don't want to do any of those things. Like I don't want to measure temperature. I don't. Does it make nice espresso? Okay, that's all I want to know.
You know what? But the
I'd
thing
be a
is,
terrible reviewer. Terrible.
people does that, right? People does. That's the Lens has followers that love that kind of stuff. Okay, but thing is, face it, there is a billions people watching YouTube channel. Billions.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
That
so
is
out
true.
of that billions people loves your storytelling. Okay, and you just need to find them. Hopefully, they're gonna find you. That's it.
Well, hopefully,
You
a
know,
few
I
people
mean,
have, and I'm happy for that. I'm very grateful for the people that have come and
sure.
seen the videos to my channel. So, but
I know what
it's
I
just a
mean
slow roll.
because I just started a cooking channel. Okay, more and more. Okay, it's
Okay,
called
good,
Hoon's.
good.
Yeah, it's called Hoon's Kitchen. Okay, Hoon's Kitchen. So I do a lot of low carb meals.
Oh,
I
nice.
I post about every other day. I have about 1,500 subscriber. Okay, that's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
50,
That's awesome.
and then, but but I have not monetized yet. You have to reach 4,000 hours to monetize.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gaining about maybe like 2 3 hours a day. That's all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. The funny thing is, this is all relative. Okay, my YouTube channels, I gain about anywhere between 3 to 4,000 hours a day.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
Okay. So so my cooking channel, that's kind of like infant stage right now. I'm kind of like building it. Yeah, I'm just building, 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 and I just do my thing. That's it. Eventually, it's gonna come. Okay. Eventually, well, you don't know
Okay.
when,
Yeah,
and
yeah, you
then
don't.
but sometimes you have to make people wants to watch. But you know what? For my philosophy is, I'm gonna make the video I want to watch. Right? That's something I'm interested in. Okay.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Because I know people say, "Hoon, why don't you ask your viewers what kind of things they want to watch?" Okay, that's great, but if I ask 10 different people, they're gonna give you 10 different ideas.
Mhm. True, true,
Okay,
true.
and then 100 people, so they're gonna ask you for all kinds of video ideas. That's great. Okay, I take that in heart, but again, you are the making videos every single day, so you have to like it. All right.
Yes,
I
agreed,
mean,
agreed.
because you're the one making videos. If you don't like doing it, what's the point, right? Last time I checked, I have about over 2,300 uh, videos on my
Oh,
YouTube channel.
really? 2,300?
I mean,
That's
quite
amazing.
a
That's
bit.
amazing.
Okay. I mean,
But
I
that's
mean,
including your shorts and live streams, right?
that one is yes, everything,
Okay.
shorts and live streaming, everything, videos, yeah, quite a
Oh,
bit.
that's epic. That's
Okay.
epic.
But okay, these are fun videos. Some days I talk about the same products 10 times over. All right. If you go to Lance's channel, he talk about one product video and move on to next products. He does not repeat. Maybe once in
Oh,
a
right.
while, but I mean for for them, okay, a lot of YouTubers they're kind of like one and done. For
Right,
me, it's
right.
not. For me, if I wanted something interesting, I'm gonna talk about it again and again and again. You know,
Yeah, really get more into it and
you
as you
know.
progress with it. That's great.
Until okay, I'm done with that product,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna bring it up a couple months down the road again.
Well,
Because you.
I gotta say, like, for until we had to move, I was running a daily live stream at 10 a.m.
Yep.
and I really started that because of your inspiration. Like, I was like, who does this? I should try that. I think it's a great way to build a nice community of people that you can engage with. And because I
Yeah,
see your
that's yep.
engagement with your viewers, and I'm like, that's really cool. I like that.
It is a lot of fun. Okay, you have a core group of friends. Okay, and the friends watching us all over the world. All right.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it is a lot of fun. I see Jackie right there, Oren, whole bunch of David watching, all over the world. Okay. Elaine's watching from somewhere. I mean, it is
Mhm.
fantastic, you know. So I'm trying to, build a community, right? Right now, we have about 30 people watching right now. Imagine 30 people here right now. That's a lot of people,
Oh yeah, yeah. You
you know?
be too much in your shop. Be too much in
Exactly.
my house.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? People watch it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's
They're, they're,
fantastic.
they're watching us right now. Two guys talking about whatever, having some fun.
Oh,
Anyway,
Elaine's from Ireland. Oh, what's up, Ireland? That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, Elaine from Ireland there. Hey, anyway, so my son is calling me right now. So, all
Oh,
right,
well, thank you very much,
Jay,
Ruben. I appreciate it.
it's been fun. We got to do it again, okay?
Anytime, my friend.
All right,
Anytime, my friend.
talk to you soon.
All right. Have a great one. Thank you all for watching.
Yep. So that's the Jay from Owner Coffee on YouTube and also Instagram page as well. Make sure to check Jay out. All right. See you guys next time.